Everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk, back again with another project for you, and this time it's a variation on a treat, a package using the painted poppies. And here it is. It's a fabulous little pizza box which you could use for all sorts of things, but inside what you have, I've deliberately sized it for some fabulous Ritter Sport. I use these, they're great as a little thank you, and a couple of bars, 100 grams fit in there, and in there I've got some peppermint, and it fits 2 bars, one on top of the other, and the other I thought we'd then make one in a slightly different colourway using the painted poppies to fit some lovely rum, raisin and hazelnut, fabulous colours. So I've used a couple of things here, the painted poppies for the image, and also for the lovely poppy paper that I've got here. Now this has got some gorgeous colours, lovely poppy images on the one side, and then on the reverse you've got some fabulous plains as well. So as you can see here, lovely colours including reds, some blackberry bliss in there, but on the reverse you've got some really good solid colours as well. So whilst I've used the reverse on this one, but I'm going to use the front on the second one that I'm going to make today. So obviously being poppies, you won't surprise you, the red, I'm going to use a bit of Poppy Parade. And I've also used a couple of other new things. This stamp set here is one of the new Celebration rewards. So you can see that it's got this lovely scroll here that just for you is separate, so you could obviously add in whichever one you wanted, and it coordinates with 2 new punches in the spring and summer catalogue. This one, which is the one I've used here, which has not only the oval but it has a slot and a hole punch on it as well, and then the other one is a really lovely big punch, gorgeous ornate one here. So a couple of options for you, and in fact I might even just use that punch for our sentiment as well. So let's get started. So we're going to start off with some Poppy Parade cardstock, and my Poppy Parade is going to be, if I move everything out of the way, she says hopefully, it's going to be 28 by 15.5 centimetres. I have worked this out in inches, so those will be on my blog. So I'm just cutting at 15.5 to start off with. And then I'm going to trim that down to 28 centimetres as well. So it comes out of a single sheet of cardstock, and I think it should work well. Taking the card away, I'm going to do a bit of scoring. So I'm going to start off by scoring at 3 centimetres on the right hand side here, and then flip that round and score again at 12.5, at 15.5, which is just before it turns to dark grey, and 25 centimetres. And then on the longer edge, short edge rather, just score at 3 centimetres on both sides, or at 3 and 12.5, whichever you prefer. Just be careful when you're measuring. There's a slight lip there that you just come over that to get your measurements right. Okay, so that's our box base. Then we're going to cut some designer series paper and some layers. So I'm going to use some old olive. So the layers that I'm cutting in card are 9 centimetres wide. And then I'm going to cut, first of all, the side pieces. So these are, I need 3 that are 9 by 2.5. So I'm going to cut those. It's always easier to cut the small pieces off a big piece first. So if you can do those this way around, it helps. So that's 3 of those, and the last piece is 9 by 9 centimetres. So those are our card layers, and that's Old Olive, which is another one of the colours in the cardstock. And then the poppies, the DSP, I'm just going to cut at 8.5 centimetres. So I'm going to cut 3 pieces that are 2 centimetres. I'm doing that on the right hand side. and then that final piece is 8.5 centimetres by 8.5, so just cut that. Okay, so those are our layers. So here we go. So now what we want to do is just add those layers of DSP to the cardstock. You see that sort of old olive just picks up the background green in there. I have to say, I love this, the front of this paper. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm not, for some reason I'm not quite as keen on the reverse on this particular pattern. I think maybe it's because I kind of prefer the sort of impressionistic elements on the front. But it does show you the sort of way the colours work beautifully together as well. So once we've added those layers, we can pop those to one side and we can start doing some trimming on our box. So again, boxes, always need to use your bone folder. So I'm just going to come in and reinforce the score lines that we've just created. That just helps the box go into its shape a lot more, and this is a nice snug fit as well. So it makes sort of a 3 centimetre deep box, which obviously you could use for all sorts of things. And then I'm going to come in, so on the long edge, the small tabs we're going to notch, and we're going to cut straight down the long tab. So straight there, notch that small one. And this is a fairly standard kind of fold over box, pizza style box I suppose, given the proportions of it, and they are great boxes because you don't have to worry about getting the lid slightly bigger or anything else. So they are a really useful box to have in your sort of armoury of 3D things to make. I do like a bit of 3D. I usually say I don't do pretty quite as well as I do 3D. Right. So we've created our box. All we've got to do now is choose one of the ends to be our top, and then just come in and add the layers while it's flat. So I'm just going to add the layers to the lid, and then add the side panels. And that's just using that standard stuff, 0.5 centimetre. You could obviously go narrower if you wanted to. I find that it just makes it easy to work out measurements as well. There you go. So there's your basic box with the layers added on. Now we want to add some red tape. So again, you can use whatever tape you prefer, whatever glue method you prefer. If you're going to use a wet glue like Tombow, it just takes a little bit longer. You might have to hold it in place a little bit. But it is very much personal preference, particularly when I'm doing a video. I do find that red tape, once I get the backing tape off it, the liner tape, it does work well and is good for keeping boxes that will last. And obviously, you could easily pop a bracelet in this. I just thought it's a rather nice way to kind of do a little bit of a thank you for people as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the bottom part. This is the section without the paper on and the layers. So all I'm doing is just removing that liner tape from those tabs. Now if you're sort of new to box making, then just do 2 at a time, whatever makes you more comfortable. The important thing with this is that basically we line that up nice and square on the corner and just pinch it closed. So line up the corner and give it a good pinch, and the same on the other side. And with this one, I would recommend that you put your contents in first. It is a snug fit. as you can see, so they just fit in there. But by doing that, it not only means that you know it fits, but also it gives you something really substantial to work on. So pop your box on its end, and I fold the flaps in and put it on its side, so you know it's really nicely fitting together. Take the one side off and glue, and then repeat on the other side, like so. And there we have our box. I'm then going to wrap around some of this lovely narrow seam binding. You can colour this if you want to. I'm keeping it in its white, just because for time, but you can colour it with Stampin' Blends or your markers, or you can add some ink to it, either or. And then all I'm doing is just doing a quick, possibly left that a little bit on the short side, a little bow. There we go. And then let's do our stamping for our image. So I'm still going to use my poppy image, and I'm just inking that up with a bit of memento and stamp. Then I'm going to come in, and actually now I'm going to use this punch here, which is this lovely ornate punch. So I'm just kind of lining that image up in there, like so. And I'm going to punch one out of Poppy Parade. Then on a little scrap of Whisper White. It's blowing a gale outside. I don't know whether you can. Hopefully you can't hear it, because I've got a new microphone which is hopefully stopping the background noise. I'm just going to stamp that image with Poppy Parade ink. Now your image here, if you wanted to, you could do one or two things. If you don't have the Stampin' Right markers, which I'm going to use, then that's not a problem. All you need to do is get one of your acrylic blocks or another non-porous surface, add a bit of ink to it, like so, and then you can use a blender pen to colour in. I'm going to use one of the images from that lovely Tags in Blue, and just ink that up. So they've got a lovely sketchy feel to them, those, really pretty. And again, just for you in the middle. And then I can come in and just line that up underneath. And if you struggle with your hands at all, just remember, pop it on a hard surface and press down, and you'll always get a good punch that way as well. Okay, so if you want to do some colouring, as I said, you can either use your Stampin' Right marker, which is what I'm going to do, or you can use a blender pen with a bit of ink. And all I'm doing, I'm just very quickly colouring in with a bit of Poppy Parade. And the lovely thing with this is, because you can buy them in colour families, you can you'll know that you've got Old Olive, and you've also got your Rich Raspberry. So I mean, the Poppy Parade has got a lot of the a mix of the Regals in there. The Poppy Parade is in our Brights family, so that's another lovely colour family. So with gorgeous grape and sort of Pacific Point. Obviously, I have them, and I've had them, but they last. I mean, they are an investment, but they last for just ages. But as I said, you know, a quick way of being able to colour with any colour that you've got an ink pad is to grab some Stampin' Right markers. Grab some blend pens and use those, because you'll excuse me, you'll get a really great effect with those. So I'm doing my usual way of layering my tags. Cut up at the middle, add the glue to the back of your front layer, just leaving a gap in the middle there, and then just give those, don't do what I've just done, which is to stick it straight down without a narrow border. This one's great because it's got a side which is straight, makes it really easy to line up, like so. Just for you, I'm just going to punch one of those out as well. And again, ways of doing this, you could just offset it if you wanted to, or as I say, you can just cut with any of these down the middle. And this is, say, just a little thank you gift that I was doing. I'll perhaps have to do one for a single bar, but you know, this over here they're only about, I don't know, they're about £1 for a bar, just over, perhaps a bit more actually. But I do, you know, I love the fact that they're just really nice and chunky, and just look a little bit different as well. And of course you can make a nice box for them, so what's not to love? Okay, let's grab some dimensionals. Don't go overboard with your dimensionals. You only need a couple to hold a layer in place. But look at that. Add that tag up above. We've got our ribbon across the middle. Just finishing off my mini dimensionals. I perhaps should use some whole ones. And add this below. And there we have a pretty double Ritter Sport gift box, ready to gift away, using painted poppies and some fabulous new stamp sets that you can get if you bought the poppy bundle. You could get the Tags in Bloom stamp set for free. What's not to love? Take care, come back and see me again soon. If you'd like to purchase any of the products, pop along to my Stampin' Up shop and you can purchase them there. So see you again soon. Bye now.